U.S. accuses North Korea of cyberattacks, a sign that deterrence is failing. The United States accused North Korea of employing an array of old and new forms of cyberattacks to steal and launder money, extort companies and use digital currencies to gain cash for its nuclear weapons program. The report, issued jointly by the State Department, the Department of Homeland Security, the Treasury Department and the F.B.I., says the purpose of the accelerated program is for North Korea to generate revenue for its weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs. But the decision to publicly focus on North Korea's actions is quiet acknowledgement that President Trump's two-year diplomatic effort, backed by continued economic sanctions, has failed to slow the North's nuclear production or prevent it from using new avenues of attack. The United Nations is expected to echo American findings in a coming report that concludes that North Korea is skirting sanctions through cybercrime, in addition to illegal exports of goods such as coal and petroleum, and imports of luxury goods like armored sedans and alcohol. The report does not accuse the North of using its growing army of hackers to profit from the crisis, even as the nation tries to wall itself off from the virus by bringing home cargo ships that until recently were the centerpiece of its sanctions-busting efforts. And as sanctions have tightened and Pyongyang's efforts to counterfeit $100 bills proved less successful, the North has turned to its hackers as a revenue source, often with considerable success. Many of the activities cited in the joint report were familiar: the 2014 attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment in retaliation for the release of the comedy The Interview, which brought down 70% of Sony's computer systems, and WannaCry 2.0, ransomware that wiped out the British Health Service's computer networks in 2017. It recited the story of the North Korean engineered effort to steal $1 billion from the Bangladesh Central Bank, an attack that yielded only $81 million after an alert official at the New York Federal Reserve stopped the transfers. And it examined several efforts to hack into digital currency exchanges, which was part of a study published this year by Recorded Future. The study concluded that North Korea's use of the Internet has surged 300%, partly because of a new connection to the global Internet through Russia. Until recently, the North had a single pipeline, via China. While many of the details were old news to cybersecurity researchers and security engineers, there was one important new detail in the report: North Korea's hackers are now offering their services to other cybercriminals and nation-state hackers for a fee. The report makes clear that North Korea's hackers are squeezing all possible revenue from cyberattacks. Ever since the attack on Sony Pictures in 2014, when Americans got their first glimpse into the country's hacking prowess, the North's army of more than 6,000 hackers has been on a rampage, penetrating banks, extorting hospitals with ransomware and hitting up the exchanges that trade in digital currencies like Bitcoin and Monero for cash. When North Korean hackers hijacked hundreds of thousands of computers all over the globe with ransomware in 2017, they neglected to give their victims a way to send the bitcoins they demanded to unlock their data. Since then, the hackers have popped up repeatedly in attacks on cryptocurrency exchanges. Last month, the Justice Department indicted and the Treasury Department imposed sanctions on 2 Chinese nationals it accused of laundering $100 million in cryptocurrency on behalf of North Korea's hackers. American officials have long accused China of enabling the North's hacking operations. For years, North Korean officials have dispatched the nation's most promising computer programmers to China's top computer science programs for training, and several high-profile North Korean cyberattacks have been traced back to Shenyang, a city in northeast China that has long been cited as an operating ground for North Korean hackers. More recently, American security researchers say it is Moscow that has enabled North Korea's operations, by offering a new digital pipeline for the attacks. Other countries, predominantly Iran, are now stealing a page from North Korea and pursuing cryptocurrency hacks of their own, according to Recorded Future. Diplomacy and sanctions have done little to keep North Korea from pursuing its nuclear weapons ambitions, particularly when profitable cyberattacks have generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue.